Hi guys, welcome back to our summer series. I hope that you guys are doing well, that you're having a good summer, that work or whatever you are doing is off to a good start. Summer has been good for me so far. We just have been really enjoying the nice weather. We've gone for lots of walks and spent a lot of time outside. I've had the windows open a lot, and it's just been refreshing like that in conjunction with like the slower pace of summer has been really nice. So yeah, we also found out this week the gender of baby number 2. So we found out we're going to be having a girl in October, and we're really excited about that. So yeah, that's kind of what is going on in our lives, in my life. So yeah, like I said, hope you guys are doing well. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into our reading for the week. So this week we read 1 Timothy together, and I really enjoyed this book, and there's probably like a million things that we could talk about and debate or discuss from these chapters. But I'm just gonna kind of share a little bit about kind of some high level things that stuck out to me, and we'll go from there. So kind of right off the bat in chapter 1, I thought it was really cool how Paul is writing this book to Timothy. He like models humility for Timothy. Like, I think it's really cool that he's writing kind of this instructional letter to Timothy on like how to lead well, and he doesn't explicitly say, Timothy, you have to be humble to be a good leader. But he kind of just models that. Like, he's talking about like the purpose of his letter and what he's writing for, and then he kind of just switches all of a sudden to like his testimony, Paul's testimony, and he claims to be the foremost of all sinners. He recognizes like his broken past and all of the amazing things that God has done in his life to change him and to get him to where he is at the point when he's writing this. And he just gives God glory for his changed life, and it feels like all of that just kind of like naturally flows out of him. And I thought that was really profound. It's not something that Paul had to like instruct Timothy. It was something that he like modeled for him, and I thought that was really cool. So next, I think that Paul gives a lot of like helpful and practical instruction to Timothy in this book. And like I said, there's like so many things from these chapters that we could probably discuss for a really long time. But these are just like a few of the things that really spoke to me this week. So kind of starting in like chapter 2 to the end. So, well, I guess still in chapter 1 a little bit, but anyway, so at the end of chapter 1, Paul kind of gives this exhortation to Timothy to fight the good fight, keep the faith, and a good conscience. And it kind of feels like Paul is telling Timothy, like, I know that you've been entrusted with a big responsibility, and that's kind of a lot, but if you keep focused on this, like fighting the good fight, keeping the faith, and a good conscience, then you'll lead well. And I just appreciated that he kind of like started with that like simple, not that it's easy to do, but like kind of that simple instruction before he gets into like all the details of the book, so, or of the letter that he's writing. So next after that, Paul gives Timothy this call to prayer. He urges Timothy to pray, and I think like all of the people too. And it was a good reminder for me to be praying for those in authority, like in our government, and in like my circle, my life. So that was a good reminder. But I also thought the Bible Project video for 1 Timothy really highlighted, I don't know, something significant from this section. And they said something to the effect of like Paul was telling Timothy to pray for peace in the land so that the message of the gospel could spread as far and wide as possible, because God desires for all the people to be saved and to know the truth. And I thought that was really cool because it gave me, I guess, a more specific prayer for for me in my life, my context, like how to be praying for the government or the people around me to come to know Christ, in that like Paul knew it was necessary in this time, in like the current like political context and whatever, to be praying for peace so that the message of the gospel could go forth. And that feels like relevant to today too, but there's lots of other things like that we could pray for, for the gospel to go forth in like our land, so to say, too. So I thought that was good and helpful. And if you haven't watched the 1 Timothy Bible Project video, I highly encourage you to do so. It was really helpful and talks through a lot of the details and stuff that I've just briefly mentioned. So yeah, from there, Paul again talks through a lot of specific instruction. He talks about leaders in the church and godly discipline. He talks about widows and women's roles and lots of things. But in the end, Paul tells Timothy again to fight the good fight of faith. And he specifically says, flee from these things. And he had been talking just before that about like the love of money, false doctrine, etc., etc. So he's saying, flee from those things, and telling Timothy to pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, perseverance, and gentleness. And I love that Paul is walking Timothy through all these specific instructions, all these details, like they're kind of like in the weeds of all this stuff about leading, Timothy leading this group of people. And then Paul directs Timothy's vision upward again, and Paul reminds Timothy of his real focus and points him to the character and heart of God again. And I just thought that was really helpful, because I feel like it can be easy for me, it can be easy for us to get like lost in the weeds, the circumstances of our life or whatever we feel like is complicated or messy, or whatever struggles we're facing in our lives. It can be easy to get like stuck in the weeds of those things in our lives, and we always need reminders to put our focus back on Jesus, and to like point our vision upward again. So I thought that was really helpful. So from all of that, there's kind of like a couple questions I've just been thinking about this week in relation to what we read. And first is, what specifically does it look like for me to fight the good fight of faith in my current season? Like what practical things should I or should I not be doing to fight the good fight of faith? And then I also have been thinking about this week, like what I can do to keep my focus on Jesus in the midst of the details, the weeds, the complicatedness of life, and to keep my focus, my vision upward. So yeah, I hope those questions maybe will be helpful to you as you meditate on this and consider this text more in your own life. So yeah, I think that is all I've got for this week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And like I said, I hope you're having a great summer. I miss you all, and hopefully I'll see you at the summer retreat in July. If not, then I look forward to seeing you all again in the fall. So yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye.